Welcome back. 2:30 p.m. this Friday afternoon, November 7th, 2025. And pardon the language, but holy shit. Once again, I was right. And furthermore, it's too bad that I did not keep the recording from the other day that was approximately a half an hour in length while I was out in the woods, and I was going on with my woodland thoughts, if you will, pertaining to the weather modification, geoengineering, cloud seeding, all in all, terraformation, and so much more. To where I was also attempting to explain how I have not only observed but noticed greatly how people have been having moments of brain fog, forgetfulness, and with what has been occurring today as far as a lot of violence kicking off, a lot of emotion, shall we say. And I'd also brought this up, but unfortunately I had deleted that video. But yet, this morning I was speaking on similar matters, and approximately 6 hours ago, which I just came across this video, and I have not even watched more than 5 minutes worth, and already I am creating this video because once again, wow, I was right. Bill Gates being involved in, let's just say, adding things to the sky, and one of those is component that affects the emotional state. Not only that, 4 new clouds are now being labeled and identified, which comes through that so-called chemtrailing process. But what I was correct about was the factor of, them putting more up there than what we are aware of in total. I mean, it's just crazy. But I've had these suspicions right along. And, when it comes down to this, once again, we have to go back to my prior content to where I speak of what occurred 2019 and all the hot spots of a pandemic was at airports. Okay? So you have a tie-in right there as far as what really occurred from 2019 and the connections with Fauci and Gates and all those billionaire players that are basically mad scientists, if you will. And so we go a step further. Well, that's not even going to show up yet, is it? Now we have this craziness with this greater light, to where, if you've been paying attention once again to my content, hold on just a moment, then we just might understand what we've been seeing, as I have been showing for quite some time, this anomaly, as we will still consider it to be called. And I apologize for this, it's a struggle sometimes, but there's not just one anomaly, apparently, as I have been picking up at least 2. One of them being And I say teal green or teal blue, even though teal is a mixture of blue and green, but one shade can be of a higher coloration than the other. And so I label this more as a teal green. But there it seems to be a red object as well. But many might consider this one here to be blue. So if we have red and blue spherical objects up here, then one might even go as far as bringing them up the narrative of the red and blue kachinas. Okay? Just connecting the dots, people. That's all. And that's all that I do. But yet I seem to be connecting the dots a little bit better than many people, as throughout my content I brought a lot of this stuff up many times. And thing is when Bill Gates says, hey, we've been spraying this stuff throughout the United States. And once again, we have to go back to the narrative that this state of Michigan carries, that there is nothing at all that transpires in the skies overhead, but yet I have dedicated this channel for the most part exposing that narrative as being nothing more than a flat out lie. And you know, I am not one that revolves around money. I despise the complications and issues that money brings about, because after all, when it's all boiled down to one word and definition, it is financialism that rules. Mammon is God, so to speak. And when I think of how much time, effort, energy, and money that I have spent in order to bring forth this content, and the reality of a lack of any type of reimbursement or compensation to the above or aforementioned, that's a little bit of a frustration when you dwell upon it. But I'm just thankful that I've been given the opportunities to be able to show what I show time and time and time again. And that's why I have this most recent playlist from yesterday and this morning, once again exposing that weather making machine to prove that there is no natural weather, at least not anymore. It is all controlled globally. And that, once again, is where you have to ask yourselves why, without considering the mainstream narratives that's out there or shall come forth. Because there is more than meets the eye in all scenarios and situations. So how's that grab you, people? So anyways, I am going to include a link to that video, of which, once again, only came out approximately at the time of this recording about 6 hours ago. And I will also include a link to my playlist from yesterday's recordings and the recording this morning showing the fallout. So with that being said, this is the type of sky and conditions that I really don't care to record, because there's just really nothing special about this except to catch the occasional flyover. Now many might say, oh, but you can see so many things in these type of clouds and whatnot. Well, that might be, but it's still not my cup of tea to record in these types of conditions. So last time, I'm going to put these Polaroid sunglasses up to the lens of the camera. We will zoom in here. I'm not sure if there's cloud coverage here. But once again, we are picking up some other strange qualities of coloration, as well as this teal green or blue anomaly. And I'm not sure if anything else is picking up at this point in given time, but there has been this red object showing up in this proximate location, and then at times down in this location a white object, or anomaly, excuse me. I should not be saying object, but anomaly has been showing up. And now we have these other strange colorations. And not only that, in recent recordings, with both this anomaly and the so-called sun right here, oh, there goes the brain fart. Hold on. There has been some strange, shall we say, sunbeams. One rather thick and one rather thin, in which that appears within, once again, many of my recent yet past recordings. Alright, so with all of that being said, I think it's vital for anybody that is concerned over what has been taking place in the sky and as far as our weather, that you actually click onto this link where Bill Gates apparently, and once again I have not gotten to that point yet, is explaining this mood altering substance being spread about, sprayed about, or released, however you want to coin it. But there's so much more, and I'm kind of eager to get back to watching it myself. But I felt, as soon as this video began, it's like, okay, this is where it's at. Proof in the pudding over many things that I brought to the table, and once again, almost like a step ahead of the game. It's just too bad that it takes forever for my content to post. And of course, we also have to consider in the factor of why, right? So, yeah, it's rather pleasant out here right now. Even though, once again, we do have quite a little bit of wind out here, the temperatures are rather nice. This is rather warm when it is not being covered, if you will. And again, if interested and you want to see all of yesterday's, well, the majority of yesterday's recordings, as well as the fallout recording from this morning, I do have a playlist. The link will be provided, and you can watch it from start to finish, basically uninterrupted. At least there should not be any ads within my playlist. If there is, please inform me. Now, I did have plans on coming out with some other content to where I will be speaking on subscriber counts, likes, and comments, and which is, once again, to be a more or less direct reply to one channel in specific, but it is geared for all viewers. I have not gotten around to that point yet of creating that video, but we'll get there. So, in conclusion, once again, click those links, and if you would, let me know what you think. Yesterday's recordings was pretty awesome, and I'm not getting any comments so far about them, and there's specific reasons now as far as viewing content. Who gets to, it's become very biased out there, people, as far as for the content creators and this scheduling of content to be viewed, okay? And if I remember, I will go into that as well when I'm creating that video that I previously mentioned. So on that note, I believe that'll do it. That shall suffice. And as always, take care, have a great one, and thank you kindly for watching. And thank you in advance if you should take the opportunity to watch these videos provided through the links below. And overall, once again, thank you for watching.